This is Just AMZN on Tuesday, November 19th, 2019. We had a bit of a continuation as we opened up, actually moved up, made a new high from yesterday. And that actually had an inside candle, started to break down a little bit, had a kind of a hammer type candle off of the upper range of this downtrend channel. Now, this is the first time I think we've actually gotten this high up. We'll zoom out a little bit and take a look. It's definitely the first time we got a close up above it since we've been tracking this channel. So what's interesting is we had a really large bearish engulfing candle turned into a really nice triangle here, just danced right along this line and then broke down. And this all looked really similar to what it's done a couple of times before. And I was talking about it yesterday, kind of following this line down. Well, it did, came right back into 1747, came down, almost touched the lower end of this portion of the channel, this portion, and then made a Morningstar reversal, started to bounce, and then was rolling over. And this was a great retest, going bearish from the lows here, started to go down, and then just stopped right on 1747, got a really nice bounce, and spent the rest of the day above 1747. So only had a couple 5-minute closes down below 1747, but really that price held really well. We rallied from there, actually broke out of the downtrend, retested it right here into the 21, and then, like I said, stayed above, came right back up to the high of the day, and then from there kind of rolled over a little bit. And so I'll zoom out and show at least, this portion. It really starts to look more and more like some sort of complex inverted head and shoulder, head and shoulders. This is pretty much the head here, and then this could be a shoulder, just this. This could be another shoulder, or this can be a shoulder, and this could be a shoulder, or this can be a shoulder, and a double shoulder, and a head, and a shoulder, and another shoulder. Something like that. I don't know exactly how to draw it. But it looks like that. So it's looking a little more bullish right here. This line, which goes back to some of the highs we had this year in July, for some reason, this is kind of coming into play. And I don't know exactly where this is. If it was drawn, I don't remember when I actually drew it in here, but oops, I'm trying to look at the times. So it's got the time 5:40 p.m. So it's definitely got some after hours on it. And sometimes that it snaps to a candle, and it can move around whether you're looking on the 5-minute, the 15-minute, the hourly. So I'm kind of discounting it. It's still on here, and I've left it on here because somehow it's kind of coming into play, or it looks like it is. But anyway, if we zoom back out a little more, so we've been tracking this downtrend channel, and something has changed. So, it almost doesn't all fit on the screen here. So we got into this channel here, going back to, what day was that? November 4th. And we were in it, and we broke out. We drew this, well, we didn't draw this one until over here. Should have drawn it up in here. But we've really been in this downtrend range for basically a couple weeks. And so this is our first time getting above this, and where we actually didn't get a close inside of the channel or down, we actually had a close above. And so I'm going to kind of throw this in. So the first thing I want to do, see if I can duplicate this. It's done. I got stuck. Hopefully the Zoom is still working, but Thinkorswim is definitely stuck right now. Okay, there we go. It worked. All right, I'm going to duplicate. And I'm going to shift this down, and I want to see if I can flip the dimensions, flip the locations. Let me see if it'll let me edit. Nope. Okay. Oh, wait. Will it? I'll copy that. Is it going to let me type? No, it's not letting me type. Okay. I'll have to try it again another time. But what I want to do is take the same, flip the dimensions or the prices that are there, and see if I can get kind of the inverse like this, and then line that up. And that one's pretty close. So if we do something like this, and I'm going to draw it right on some of these candles from the daily, just see, it's like, okay, do we actually match up pretty well? We do kind of. Okay, so if we draw pretty much the low in here, we're tagging this, we actually kind of get into it here, and then we're tagging the high, kind of above it a little bit, tagging the high. I just want to throw this on here as a little bit of a framework to say, okay, we've been going down for so long. What if we don't go sideways? And I mean, technically, this inverted head and shoulders is sideways, but what if we start moving upward a little bit? And so I didn't want to, throw something completely new in, but it looks like it's starting to kind of frame up this way. And so this could just be a bigger flag, and then we break down bearish and we continue in a channel like that. What I can do with this is I can still even draw this very similar. I can just make another one of these, and we can check this to see if, okay, did we just change lanes? This is essentially a downtrend channel. Did we change lanes to get into this lane? We got into this lane over here again. Now are we changing lanes again? We're pushing up a little bit. So I'm going to leave this on here too, just to see if something's happening, to run up here. But anyway, we'll track this and see, do we keep moving up like this? Are we going down again? What's actually happening? It just gives us a framework of some similar angles that we've been in. But getting back into the day here. So, if you can draw this on your own chart, see if these things line up anywhere. But on the chart here on the 5 minute, there are a couple of nice opportunities to go bearish. Had this breakdown here, which it's looking like it's going to bounce, but it's a really large candle. So you may not have been getting bearish here or up here right out the gate. But as it goes sideways, it makes this triangle. It's like, oh, this is a great opportunity to go bearish. This is what we talked about. This should be going bearish, and take that breakdown. You could have been into it anywhere in here because there's just a really nice stair step, and it's almost a little too long for a stair step. It's a little bit more of a triangle, just kind of consolidating the highs, consolidating the lows, and then ultimately breaks down. So we'll look at getting in bearish in the early 9 o'clock hour or first half hour, and then buying off of 1747, and then getting back up to pretty much the high of the day. What was this? 1760.68 and 1760.47. So we're about 20 cents away. This was nearly tweezer. It was 6 cents off from a tweezer, and 21 cents away from the high of the day. This was a great place to be looking for it to just reverse and have some resistance come in. Didn't really give it another opportunity to buy it over here. So really the main buying price was here, and then the main selling price was here or here. So looking at the call first, the price that it came down into at 1747 was right in here between 11 and 10. Really getting in 11 by 10 would have been a nice entry right there. It would have been great if this hammer had held and given you the same price point as an entry, but it really did retest into this candle. But this candle is a little more than $1 range. It did get into the 10 by 9 price and then bounce. I don't know that anyone would have been setting it up 10 by 9. You would have wanted to wait for this and then look for something to pull back, and you really got that. So it's close to 1050. The low is 1050. I don't know if you would have been filled buying at 1050, but getting in 11 by 10 totally would have worked. You had some supports over here, to help kind of shore that up, and then it quickly moved right back up into the apex of this kind of triangle here, right around 13. So if you're in at 11, that's a target of 13 is easy. An easy target to have and just take profits, and you're up 2R, and that's great. Had you held on and it rallied back up to the high of the day on the stock 5 minute was a very different price, or was the same price as early in the day, but on the option we're a little more than $1 lower. So getting out anywhere up in here around 17, even probably where this candle is, because this is just such a large candle, probably getting out around 16 here instead of even 17. So getting in at 11 up to 16, that would have been 5R. And then you definitely want to be out as it starts to roll over. And if you had just been trailing up your stop, hopefully you got stopped out or trailed out for a gain around like 15, even 16 if you had been tightening that quickly. All right, so over to the puts then. If we take a look at the price right at the open, which if you were getting into that there, great. You would have really had been watching it or having just a price set, and it could have filled like 8x7. Or if you had watched this come in and then looked for an opportunity to get in, easily could have been doing like 9x8 or 850x750, something like that. So let's say you're in. Let's even say you're in at 9 over here. Where is it? Here. That's 9. Let's say you're getting in at 950 after this candle. You still want to go bearish. You're in at 950. It rallies. Nice move. It consolidates. And then actually no, we talked about getting in over here. So this is going totally sideways. You can totally get in here 11x10, and that would have really worked nicely to continue. It would have moved so fast, you probably were getting out somewhere in here like 13, 14. When it moves that quickly, 5-10 minutes later, you're up 2-3R, just take profits and run. Just, take your profits, close out for the day, or at least, lock that in and then look for another entry. And that would have been a really nice gain. You could also have been looking for the downtrend channel. So looking for it to get down here. It didn't quite get there and then start to rally. And so that would have been the only challenges. If you were taking some off here and then looking for a second target here, you missed it. It didn't get back down that far. And just depending on how far you held, maybe it didn't work out to just let that ride. So hopefully you're out with something at like 13, 14. And then if you were trailing the stop and the rest, you probably got trailed out around like 12 or something over here. Definitely back down at 11, to get out, break even. But if you had taken some profit up here, then you're good. The other opportunity to buy puts, looking at the stock low, the stock's high price, it was different, later in the day for what the option was going to be. Surprisingly though, 8x7 over here at the open would have worked over here, 8x7. It didn't actually take out the $7 price. Problem was, it only got up to about 950, so you would not have even have gotten 2R on that. Once it made that price, once it made the high on the 5 minute here, looking for any sort of retracement where it rolled over and then it retraced it back up, like getting into puts up here, similar price to this wick here, or anywhere in here where it starts to consolidate. Before it starts to roll over, you get a little bit more bearish edge come back down, go sideways, and then starts to roll over more. Would have been nice if this came all the way back down here for a little bit more of a bearish move. But with puts, you really could have been getting in over here at 8 and stop down at 7 and just scalping out at 9, and it would have been a nice little game. So a number of different ways to trade this. Something has definitely shifted, so it's just a matter of figuring out, are we going up a little bit here? What's actually happening? We still formed a bearish candle, and I still like the potential for this to move up a little bit more, even if that's all it does, just move up a little bit more and kind of pause at the 21 and then start to roll over. We do have, let's see, increasing bearish momentum, the squeeze still forming. It was a slightly higher high, higher low, but it was a bearish candle and indecisive candle, decent volume. We'll just have to wait and see if this turns into a little bit of a flag or if somehow this is going to turn into a bounce and go back up. But we'll just have to wait and see. So we'll look for this kind of framework to give us some guidance for tomorrow and see what happens. So hope this helps. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.